2 days ago, I decided to sign up to start delivering with UberEats, and today is going to be my first day. So I'm gonna let you guys know everything about how many orders I took, what I got paid, what my gas expenses were, and how the overall experience was. But first of all, let's get into why I decided to start delivering for UberEats. I've had this YouTube channel for almost a year now, and I've tested out a ton of different gig economy apps and a ton of food delivery apps. But UberEats is one that I really didn't have much interest in trying. I had seen a lot of other videos from YouTube influencers that were not recommending UberEats. They said it was a terrible move for independent contractors, and they just in general had a lot of bad PR. So I kind of stayed away from them. But lately I've been seeing a ton of comments on my other videos about drivers making a lot of money with UberEats. We're talking $200 a day, even $300 a day. And it appears that there is something brewing in the food delivery industry. We are in the middle of a crisis. This is a crisis for individuals, a crisis for restaurants, and it looks like a lot of things are changing, and UberEats has been on the forefront of that. They're taking advantage of the wants and needs of people during this crisis by extending an olive branch. And by helping out people in times of need, they can grow their market share and get a little bit of free publicity. During the COVID-19 pandemic, UberEats has been cutting delivery fees for restaurants and also bringing on a ton of new restaurants at low setup fees. Normally, they charge a 30% commission on pickup orders through the UberEats app. That means if a pizza restaurant normally charges $10 for a personal pizza, they're now only making $7 off of this pizza when they go through UberEats. But UberEats has reduced a lot of these fees in order to bring new restaurants on board that are struggling and really do not know if they will survive this crisis. And at the same time, they've also offered to help out customers by reducing delivery fees, which they usually keep really cheap anyways. Customers can choose from deliveries at as low as $1 or even free delivery from some restaurants. All of this has allowed them to increase their market share and to gain more customers, more restaurants, and more traction in the food delivery industry. And I believe that this spike in demand is making the app more appealing to food delivery drivers. So today I'm going to test it out, and I'm going to show you guys exactly how much I make delivering food with UberEats in Seattle. As I mentioned, I signed up to deliver with UberEats about a day and a half ago, and I'm already approved to drive. The process was very similar to other gig economy apps. I had to enter my vehicle registration, my proof of insurance, some info about myself, and then I had to get a background check, all of the basic stuff. The background check usually takes longer for some of these services. It's kind of like the bottleneck in this process. But for me, that was verified the same day. The only reason it took a day and a half is because I accidentally signed up to drive for Uber when my car wasn't new enough, so they had to transfer me over to UberEats. So I'm going to sign on the app here in a minute here and show you guys what I make. Now I want to be completely transparent in this process. I have tested out food delivery apps before, so this is not a beginner trying this. And I want to bring you guys the perspective of an experienced driver because of what I've seen out there, because of what I've seen from other YouTubers who haven't really tried apps before. They try it one time, maybe they're delivering in the middle of the day, not during the lunchtime hours, not during the dinner time hours, and they don't see much earnings. So they put out a YouTube video saying they hated it, not recommending it, when they're not really giving the true story of how much you can make on these apps. That said, I do kind of have low expectations for UberEats because of what I've heard in the past, but I'm giving it a shot based on these recent comments. So let's go ahead and hop into my car. I'm going to turn the app on and let's see how much money I make out there delivering for UberEats. So it is 3:30 p.m. here in Seattle, and I just logged into the UberEats app. It made me do a couple quick things to verify that I was following the proper safety precautions for COVID-19, and one of those is wearing this face mask. I'm not going to wear it when I'm filming the video because I want you guys to be able to hear me talking, but when I'm in restaurants picking up orders and delivering food to customers, I will have this on. Now, currently, it doesn't look like there's a ton of demand in Seattle. There's a little bit going on downtown, so hopefully I pick up some orders in that direction. But it's not too crazy, and I don't expect too much given that it's 3:30 p.m. Normally, I would not log into a food delivery app during this time. I'd do some work on my website, gigsharks.com. I'd be doing work for a client or maybe online doing courses, learning some Python. I've been doing that lately. That's kind of what I fill the middle of my day with. I wouldn't try and earn too much money on a food delivery platform during this time, but I do expect things to pick up here in the next hour or so as people start getting some dinner orders coming in through the Uber Eats app. Now I've also turned on my mileage tracker, and I use Gridwise for that. I really like it. I just hit the button every time that I want to start driving, and it tracks all of my miles during that time. They also have some other cool features for rideshare drivers and for tracking earnings. So it's really a very complete app that I like to use for that feature. A couple of other important things that you might be wondering about when you start delivering with Uber Eats is whether or not they have a debit card. A lot of other platforms like DoorDash, Grubhub, Postmates send you these cards and make you pay for some of the orders in person, but Uber Eats does not do that. So I can actually get started without that, and it's something I'm excited about because I don't actually like to take the time to do those other types of orders. Now I also haven't been sent any sort of heat bag, and I don't really expect Uber Eats to send me one, but I already have a bunch, and I actually like using this Grubhub heat bag. It's very well insulated, better than any of the other bags out there, so I'm just going to be using that to keep customers' food warm. All right, so first order just popped up in the Uber Eats app. It's from Chipotle over in Lake City. This is just under a mile away, so not too bad as far as driving distance. I'm gonna head over that way and then check in when I get there. And I do want to apologize just real quick if you're hearing that rain noise on my roof. This is in Seattle, it is rainy here, but bear with me because there's gonna be some good earnings info going forward that you're gonna wanna stick around and see. All right, so I just pulled up. Let me throw my face mask on. I'm gonna run in there and grab this order real quick. I do love Chipotle because they have all of the orders ready to go, so this should be quick. All right, got the burrito. I'm gonna secure it in my Grubhub heat bag and then head to the customer's home. Just pulled up at the customer's house. I'm gonna go ahead and drop this order off and then do a quick recap before moving on to some more orders on the Uber Eats app. All right, so I just completed my very first delivery on the Uber Eats app. It went pretty smooth. Right now I'm up here in Shoreline, which is a little bit further away from the Seattle area that I'd like to be. It's just north of Seattle, and I started off in North Seattle. So all in total, that was a 4-mile trip, 1 mile to Chipotle, then 3 miles to the delivery. So gas-wise, I get about 30 miles to the gallon. 4 miles there, that's maybe 1/10 of a gallon, a little bit more than that. And gas right now is a little over $3 a gallon, maybe $3.50 a gallon here in Seattle. So I'm spending like 30-40 cents on that one order. Now, if I look here in the app, I made $4.52 on that order. If I were to do Grubhub or another type of delivery, I would expect about $10 to $20 for that order, and I would be able to see everything up front. From the order fare to the tip that was given to me. I don't know if my customer is going to leave a tip after the fact. I don't actually know how that works on the Uber Eats app, so I'll fill you guys in on that later. And you'll also notice that my stats when I click on those earnings is showing that I have 1 point. That's working towards Uber Pro status. I believe Uber has some perks there. I don't know if I'll ever actually achieve that, but I guess it's kind of cool that there is incentive to do more stuff on the Uber Eats app. So for now, I'm just gonna wait here in Shoreline. Hopefully my next order takes me back towards Seattle so I can get kind of into the thick of it, because I don't think that there's a whole lot going up here. It's kind of a sleepier neighborhood. So it's now been about 5 minutes since I dropped off that first Uber Eats order, and I have not gotten any other offers through the Uber Eats app. I don't really like sitting around. That kind of bothers me, but I also don't like driving around trying to pick up orders because that's expenses and that's gas money that I'm not getting paid for. There's no reimbursement for that. Normally I just run multiple apps in this scenario hoping to get another offer, but I want to focus on the Uber Eats app here. So what I'm going to do is, I noticed I'm close to the I-5 freeway. I'm going to hop on that and go south here in a minute if I don't see any of the offers pop up in the app, and then see if I can get some offers closer to downtown. Now, hopefully for the rest of the evening here through the dinner hours, I will be filled with offers in Seattle, and they'll kind of just be back to back so I don't have to drive around and move too much and spend my own gas money trying to find these hot spots. So I just got off the freeway over here around the Green Lake area, and almost immediately another offer popped up. It looks like it's a little bit over $5. And at least when I was looking at the screen, it looked like it was really close by. Now that I'm off the freeway, it looks like it's a little bit further, and it would have been better to just stay on the freeway. But it's hard to kind of assess these things when you're, driving on the freeway. There's not a whole lot of time to look at this, and you don't want to take your eyes off the road. But still not a bad offer, so I'm going to go ahead and pick it up from the restaurant and then check in with you guys after that. All right, I've got the order and I've got it here in my Grubhub heat bag. I'm gonna head over to the customer's address, drop it off like I normally do, and then after this delivery, I'm gonna go ahead and do the next few that I get through the app. I'm not gonna check in with you guys on every single one unless something interesting comes up, and then I'll go through and review it. I'll review exactly how much I've made on each of these, how much I've made at the end of these dinner hours when I'm working, how much gas mileage I spent. I'm gonna recap all of that so you can see if it was worth my time delivering here. And then I'm gonna compare to some other delivery apps because I have tested a bunch of them. So I'm gonna show you guys how this Uber Eats platform stacks up for me when I compare it to something else like Grubhub or DoorDash. So I just pulled up to the Persepolis Grill, and this is gonna be my first batched order. It's kind of cool because I get to pick up 2 orders from 2 restaurants that are close together and then drop off to 2 separate customers. But they're routed so that everything's close together, which saves me time and makes me more money. In fact, I'm making $18 on this batched order. It's gonna be about 9 miles total drive and an estimated 40 minutes, which adds up to be a pretty good hourly wage. And I do like how the Uber Eats app is showing me the total time estimate. It's kind of nice to have those numbers in front of me when I'm accepting the offers. So I'm gonna go ahead and head in here, but first I'm gonna grab a snack. I do pack, a little bar here because it's about dinner time. I don't know if you guys do that. Let me know if you do and what kind of snacks you bring. I'd love to hear that. And then go ahead and get rolling on this. Now I'm excited about it because it's a higher paying offer. The first 2 that I got were kind of low, but it looks like we're really getting rolling here. So hopefully these next few ones will keep making me some good money. And when I check back in with you guys later, I'll have some good stats as far as total earnings to go over. All right, let me run in real quick and get this second order from Arya's place. Got the food, let's go get these dropped off real quick. So I've hit a bit of a standstill here. The road in front of me was supposed to be open, but people are kind of like hopping out of their cars, running around. So I just dropped off the first of 2 orders in this batched order, and it was kind of nice because my customer sent me a message in the app saying that his daughter would come down and pick up the offer, which made it really easy for me. Now I'm gonna head over and drop off that second one, and I'm over here in Capitol Hill near what's called the Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone. It's a few blocks that have kind of been barricaded off and protesters are there. So I'm going to avoid that on the map and get over to my customer as quickly as possible so I can keep going with these orders. Okay, so I just completed that batched order and I had to take a different route than I was expecting because there's a little bit of traffic. There's kind of a lot going on with the marches and the protests right now. It took me a little bit longer. I just picked up another order after that one. It's only about $6 and I'm kind of still in this area where a lot of the roads are blocked off. So we'll see how, well that goes. The last order ended up paying me $18. I was expecting it to pay a little bit over 18. So I'm gonna have to kind of review how that pay works. If the pay up front is just an estimate and then it's later calculated by mileage, time, or maybe the tip was changed, I can figure all of that out a little bit later. But let's go ahead and do this next order, see if I can get a few more worked out here. Just dropped off that last order and I've been driving around. The map says that demand is heavy, but haven't gotten a lot of orders in at least 10 minutes. All right, another Chipotle order. This is also batched, so I'm gonna head into Chipotle, grab that, then hit the next restaurant real quick. So I just came out of the Chipotle, and I have to say that's my first kind of bad experience in a restaurant. Surprisingly, it happened at Chipotle, which is one of my favorite restaurants. And I really haven't had a slow Chipotle yet, but it was in Capitol Hill, and there's all the protests and march going on over there. So there's a ton of people in Capitol Hill right now, and there was like 30 or 40 other orders in front of me. I was waiting for like 15 or 20 minutes, and I actually ended up parking in front of a commercial like auto repair shop. I was parking in the loading zone. I thought I'd be in and out quick, and they were coming in and out of there kind of checking out my car because they had a car that was trying to pull out. So I ended up just having to cancel my orders in the app, which was really easy to do. I just hit report an issue next to their names on the order screen and then said that there was excessive wait time. So I got out of that. It was a batched order that would have been nice. It would have been $14 before tips. And I'm really seeing a lot of these tips come through in the app here after the deliveries. There was one for $9 that came through, and then another tip for about $2.50 to come through, which puts me at a little bit over $50 total for around 3 hours of working. And that's gonna kind of round it up for me. I would like to stay on the app longer because it's only 7 o'clock here, so I could have another couple of hours of good orders, but I do have some plans tonight that I have to go kind of follow through on. But let's take a look at how much I was earning on the Uber Eats app. So at a total of $50 after the tips came through, and you know, tips could keep coming through. Those first 2 that I got afterwards took a little bit longer, so it might end up being more down the road. But as of right now, $50 for 5 orders, that's about $10 an order. I checked in on my Gridwise app for mileage. It looks like I drove about 24.5 miles. So it's putting my deductions at like $14. That's what my expenses were. I think that those generally are estimated higher because that's your standard deduction for a standard vehicle. My Mazda 3 gets really good gas mileage, and I haven't had a lot of maintenance expenses other than oil changes. You know, it's at the end of its life, but I haven't had to do much maintenance on it. So I'm thinking that I actually had lower expenses than that, which makes Uber Eats a pretty good option. If I had factored in that last order, I think I would have been at closer to $65-70 in the 3 hours, which is pretty good, pretty reasonable. I'm going to keep trying with this app because I'm thinking it's looking pretty good. The tips are better than expected. I had always heard that tips on Uber Eats were pretty bad, but seeing those come through on the app was a real booster. There was only one of those tips that was really added in as soon as I finished the order, and that was for a couple bucks. The other ones took some time to get there, so make sure you're patient if you're just starting out on Uber Eats to see what those tips actually end up being. You know, do enough orders to at least figure out if people are going to throw you some good tips in your city. As far as comparison, I do still like Grubhub a lot. It's probably my favorite food delivery app because everyone tips on Grubhub and you see the tips up front. But volume has been kind of declining lately, which is why I tried out Uber Eats. Uber has been doing a lot to kind of incentivize more people to use their app. So that high volume was nice. There was only a couple periods of times when I was sitting around waiting and not getting orders, which is really nice to just stay busy, to stay moving, and to get that income continually coming in. It reminded me a little bit of DoorDash as far as seeing the heat map where the orders are, seeing the promos on top of that base pay, and then getting the tips later. It was a very familiar app. The app itself is a really nice interface that I enjoyed using. I can tell Uber has spent a ton of money on this app. And I would definitely be doing more orders on Uber. I'm going to throw it in the mix with Grubhub when times are slow. If you've tried out Uber Eats, let me know what you think down below. I'd love to hear your experience, if it's been picking up and been busier lately, because that's what I've been hearing. And I definitely earned more than I expected to get on the app. So definitely a recommendation for those of you out there that are seeing whatever app you're using slow down. Check out Uber Eats. Really easy to get onto the platform and could be a decent amount of earnings, to supplement whatever your income is, whatever your situation may be, whether you need extra side money, you already have a job, you're in between jobs, you're in school. It doesn't matter what it is. There's always options out there. Gig economy can be decent for those times. Just make sure you do your research first. And one of the places you can get that research is here at Gig Nation. Subscribe to the channel, hit that like button so that this video gets to other people who might be interested in it. And if you're looking for a gig economy job or a new gig economy app in your area, check out gigsharks.com because I've been working a ton on this website to basically collaborate all of the gig economy jobs in your city so that you can find the best one that fits you.